Chelsea have lost 4 straight matches, conceded 17 goals in 10 days, and sit 6th in the Premier League, just 2 points ahead of Everton. But here's what nobody's telling you. This isn't just bad form, it's a complete system failure that's destroying Liam Rosenior's Chelsea from the inside out. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Chelsea's crisis is worse than it looks, and why Rosenior might not survive the international break. Real quick before we continue, if you want more tactical breakdowns exposing what's really happening at big clubs, hit subscribe right now. I post every week, and 70% of you watching aren't subscribed yet. Takes 1 second. March 21st, 2026 brought Chelsea traveling to Hill Dickinson Stadium in Liverpool for a Premier League match against Everton. And Chelsea dominated possession with 63.8% of the ball, while Everton had just 36.2%. But here's the thing. Possession means absolutely nothing when your goalkeeper gifts the opposition 3 goals. 33 minutes in, James Garner threaded a wonderful ball through Chelsea's defense, and Beto dinked the ball over Robert Sanchez to make it 1-0. 62nd minute brought Beto's second goal, and this one exposed Sanchez in the worst possible way, when Beto shot straight at him and the ball went through the goalkeeper's legs for a nutmeg. NBC Sports described it as just awful from the Chelsea goalkeeper, and he received a 4 out of 10 rating, while Everton's Jordan Pickford earned a 9 out of 10 after making excellent saves from Enzo Fernandez. Before we go further, you tell me, is this a goalkeeper problem, a manager problem, or a player problem? Comment right now because this gets deeper. 76 minutes brought Iliman Ndiaye scoring a stunning goal into the top corner to seal 3-0, and Chelsea's players looked defeated, exhausted, and out of ideas after a week from hell. Liam Rosenior's post-match comments tried to deflect by saying, "It's a moment of switching off." But switching off 3 times in one match and 17 times across 4 matches isn't individual mistakes. It's tactical failure, and most people won't admit that. 4 shots on goal compared to Everton's 9 tells you everything. Chelsea dominated possession, but looked toothless in attack, and vulnerable every time Everton broke forward. And this is where it gets really interesting, because today's Everton disaster is just the final chapter in a 10-day collapse that exposed every weakness in Rosenior's system. March 11th brought PSG hosting Chelsea at the Parc des Princes for the Champions League round of 16 first leg. And for 61 minutes, Chelsea competed well, at 2-2, with Malo Gusto and Enzo Fernandez scoring. And that's when Kavica Kvaratskhelia came off the bench in the 62nd minute and ended the tie in 28 minutes, scoring twice and assisting once to turn 2-2 into 5-2. March 17th or 18th brought the second leg at Stamford Bridge, and PSG won 3-0 to complete an 8-2 aggregate demolition. 8-2 on aggregate. Chelsea became the first Chelsea side to concede 8 goals in a 2-legged Champions League tie, and they conceded twice within 14 minutes, the earliest they've ever conceded twice in a European knockout match. Between the PSG legs came Newcastle visiting Stamford Bridge on March 14th, and Chelsea lost 1-0 at home to what ESPN called Strugglers Newcastle in their first home league defeat since December. Check this stat. 2 goals scored, 17 goals conceded, 0 clean sheets, and a goalless streak of 303 minutes across 4 straight defeats. Paul Merson wrote in his Sky Sports column that Liam Rosenior's had 6 big games, 3 against Arsenal, 2 against PSG, and 1 against Newcastle, and lost them all. And when you cannot win big games as Chelsea manager, pressure builds quickly regardless of your contract length. Here's the controversial part. Rosenior's tactical system leaves Chelsea exposed every single match, and no amount of young talent can fix that. Do you agree, or am I missing something? Let me know in the comments. Quick favor, if this breakdown is hitting for you and you're seeing the bigger picture now, smash that like button. It helps more than you think. Now we're getting to the real question. How did Chelsea end up with a manager who can't win big games? January 6, 2026, brought Liam Rosenior arriving at Chelsea with a 6.5-year contract running until 2032, after replacing Enzo Maresca. His first 9 matches brought 7 wins that looked promising, but here's what nobody talks about. Enzo Maresca took 30 games to reach 6 losses, and Liam Rosenior reached 6 losses in just 18 games. 41 years old, second black Chelsea head coach after Ruud Gullit, and he seemed to have the right profile, but his record now stands at 10 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses after today's Everton defeat. And 3 of those 10 wins came against lower league opposition in the FA Cup, while 1 came against Cypriot minnows Paphos. Here's what nobody's talking about. Chelsea have won only 1 of their last 5 Premier League matches, taking 5 points from 15 possible, and they sit 6th with 48 points, just 2 points ahead of Everton and 3 behind 4th place Aston Villa. Sasha Tavalieri from Sky Sports Switzerland reported on March 15th that serious concerns are emerging internally about Rosenier's future. And Indy Kayla reported that some officials believe he won't be at the helm next season, with Luis Enrique, Cesc Fabregas, Felipe Luis, and Oliver Glasner named as potential replacements. Paul Merson's criticism highlighted specific moments showing Rosenior losing control. I didn't like the Alejandro Garnacho incident against PSG. Even he was walking over thinking, what am I doing with this note? Just stop it. Merson referred to Rosenior giving Garnacho written instructions while Chelsea were being demolished 8-2 on aggregate, a gesture that looked desperate rather than tactical. Merson also slammed Rosenier's comment to respect the ball after one defeat. You don't want to change Liam Rosenior. That's the person he is. Very honest. But there's probably a couple of things where he probably would come away and go, why did I say that? Respect the ball? Don't say it. Just don't say it. Most managers know you can't show weakness like that publicly. Gary Neville questioned the appointment before Rosenior even took charge. I don't see Rosenior doing that. I don't think it's an appointment that is going to push Chelsea on to win the Premier League or a Champions League title. If you have young players on the pitch, I also think you need an experienced manager. This is the moment that proves everything. Chelsea's problems aren't just about tactics or the manager. They're about having 2 goalkeepers who both cost you points. Robert Sanchez received a 4 out of 10 rating after Beto's goal went through his legs. And Paul Merson wrote that they absolutely need a new goalkeeper in the summer. I don't know why they didn't go for Gianluigi Donnarumma. Him and David Raya, they save you points. If Raya wasn't at Arsenal, they wouldn't be in the position they are now. For every great Raya save, I could match that with a mistake from Robert Sanchez or Philip Jorgensen. Philip Jorgensen is currently injured with a groin problem, but he struggled before getting injured and made errors in the PSG first leg, including one that led to Kvaratskhelia's assist. But here's the crazy part. The injuries make everything worse. Reece James is out again with a recurring hamstring injury. Trevoh Chalobah suffered an ankle injury, keeping him out for 6 weeks. Levi Colwill has an ACL injury. 96 changes to their starting lineup this season makes Chelsea the most rotated team in the Premier League. And they've already made more changes than the entire 2024 to 2025 season when they made 95 total. 0 clean sheets in their last 14 Premier League games tells the story of a defense that cannot protect leads or give attackers the platform to win tight games. Based on everything we've covered, does Chelsea need a new manager, new goalkeeper, or both? Comment your take because I want to know what you think. April 4th brings Port Vale to Stamford Bridge for the FA Cup quarter-final, Chelsea's only remaining cup competition after their Champions League elimination. And April 12th brings Manchester City to Stamford Bridge for a match that could decide Champions League qualification. Between now and Manchester City sits the international break from March 22nd to April 3rd, giving Chelsea time to regroup, but also giving the club hierarchy time to consider whether Rosenior can turn this around, or whether they make another managerial change. Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Chelsea sits 6th with 48 points from 31 games, 3 points behind 4th place Aston Villa. But they've taken 5 points from their last 15 available, haven't kept a clean sheet in 14 league games, and scored just 2 goals while conceding 17 in 4 matches. Reports suggest some officials believe Rosenior won't be manager next season, despite his contract until 2032, and Luis Enrique has been named as a potential replacement. Paul Merson's analysis cuts to the heart of it. Against PSG, when you go 3-2 down in that first leg, that experience gets the team together and makes sure it stays at 3-2. It may go to 4-2, you've still got a chance. But don't make it bigger than 4-2, and it goes to 5-2. Chelsea lack the experience and composure to manage difficult moments, and when things go wrong, they collapse completely. Remember how I started this video? Chelsea lost 4 straight matches, conceded 17 goals in 10 days, and sit 6th, just 2 points ahead of Everton. Now you understand why this isn't just bad form, it's a complete system failure. 18 games is all it took Rosenior to reach 6 losses when Maresca took 30. Chelsea have a goalkeeper who cost them points, a defense held together by injured and inexperienced players, and a manager facing internal pressure despite a 6.5-year contract. April brings Manchester City and the FA Cup quarterfinal, and the international break will determine whether Rosenior gets the chance to turn this around or becomes another name on Chelsea's endless list of managers who were promised time but never received it. Here's my question for you. If you're Chelsea, do you sack Rosenior now or give him until the end of the season? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Check out the video on screen. See you next time.